Hey, Stacy, I just got your um, paper uh, video questions on Hurricane Katrina and federalism. You did a great job on that, and I entered a grade into the grade book for you. And what I would like you to work on this week can be found here. If we go over to modules and click on that, and then we go down to week 6, political parties. I'd like you to click on week 6, Chalk Talk. And when the screen pops up, it will show a blackboard. And it says American Government Chalk Talk. There's a few different assignments on this page for week 6, but I would like you to focus on the what do you think you are? If we click on that, it says that what do you think you are? Liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, green, libertarian, independent, other? Whether they really know what it means to be a Democrat or a Republican or a libertarian, most young adults will claim to be supporters of one political party or another. Others may dislike both of the major political parties, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, all of us fall somewhere on the political spectrum. Before we look at what we are, let's focus on how we became that way. What I'm going to do now is click on the numbers below, and together we'll learn a little bit about this process that's called political socialization. In other words, how we became political, how we became Republicans, how we became Democrats, liberals, conservatives. So let's take a look at the first one. All right. It should be no surprise to you that your family is the most important shaper of your attitudes. Family often imparts or gives you basic political values and sometimes loyalty to a particular political party. An example is when a child grows up in a liberal household, which might support the Democratic Party, they will probably support that same party when they grow up. We like many of the things that our parents like. And politics, it's not always true, but sometimes politics, I'm very much like my dad politically. But my brother is the exact opposite of us. So sometimes we model ourselves politically after our parents, and sometimes we don't. After the family, school is the most influential of all socialization agents due to a child's extended exposure to a variety of political beliefs. Teachers, often considered respected sources of information, can shape the political viewpoints of young people. An example of this would be schools teaching patriotism, history, civics, government, etc. Now, I would never tell you who to vote for or how to vote, but I know that I've taught history and I've taught civics, and I don't share my political beliefs, but I know that sometimes kids pick up on that because they're in school so much. Most of their time is spent in school. They probably spend more time with their teachers than they do with their parents. So education systems can be a huge socializer in terms of our politics. Religion. Um, churches socialize people to accept certain political values, and they also teach values such as respect for authority. Um, an example of this is in 2012, Minnesota became the 32nd state where voters have been asked to weigh in on same-sex marriage. Voters were asked whether or not the Minnesota Constitution should be amended to define marriage as between one man and one woman. Some churches felt and continue to believe just that marriage is between one man and one woman. Other churches welcomed same-sex couples. Other churches instructed their members to leave their religion out of the voting booth. But religion, we learn a lot about politics from religion. I even remember being at a Catholic church and seeing a voting guide for Catholics. So sometimes we pick up on things subtly, and sometimes they're right in our face, like the voting guide for Catholics. Media, what we listen to, what we look at on the internet, the newspapers we read, this can promote cynicism about government. It can set agendas telling us what to think about, telling us how to think about what is presented, and it also can promote, awareness about government. Some news, but not all, is biased. Fox News tends to be more conservative, while MSNBC tends to be liberal. And if you think about the internet, think about even social media. We hear a lot about this current election on social media. People are either really happy with one candidate, not so happy with the other candidate, or they think both candidates are clowns. It should come as no surprise that we learn a lot from one another, and socializing with our peers, we can have a huge influence on our lifestyle issues. The clothes we wear, whether we use alcohol or drugs, dating choices, academic performance, a lot of it has to do with peers. Peers are pretty important to young adults and to children, obviously. Gender plays a role in political socialization as well as civic engagement. Research tends to show that women tend to know less about politics and are less interested than their male counterparts. And studies also show that women tend to be more politically engaged when viable female candidates are running for a major office. You'll hear about this. You'll hear about the woman's vote, how it's important for candidates to appeal to women because, women are half of our population. And so therefore they are half of our voting population and they can't be ignored. And so gender plays a part. Where you are in your economic standing, your social class, your job, those all have an impact on your political self. Family income is a strong predictor of whether you are liberal or conservative. People who have lower family incomes tend to favor government action that promotes economic equality, and those with higher family incomes tend to oppose government intervention in the economy. Also, where you come from, your ethnicity, and where you live, your geography, have a huge impact on your political socialization. This video is going to come to an end here, and I'm going to just stop it and send it to you, and then I'll send you another one very, very shortly.